I feel like sometimes stylists overstep their role in the fashion industry. It's me, Amarijasz. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the difference between a designer and a stylist. If you're interested, keep watching. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down, and turn on the notifications. So basically, I decided to do this video, designer versus stylist, because I feel like so many people, mainstream people who are not in the industry, get the roles of a designer and the roles of a stylist confused. And I just decided it would be fun to just educate you all and talk to you guys about the difference, the role of each, the background of each, how to become each, and basically the lifestyle of each. So yeah, first let's talk about the designer. So basically, to become a traditional designer, you would basically have to go to college 4 years at an art university majoring in fashion design, and in the meantime work as a internship during your undergrad. And then after your undergrad, if you're lucky, you usually would like to move to New York, LA, San Francisco, those big cities, to basically give you a shot of actually landing a gig at a fashion house that's going to be pay well and going to be worthwhile for you. And while you are in your undergrad, you're going to be actually learning how to create ideas, how to articulate those ideas through various mediums, whether that is photography, whether that's through your actual fashion illustration. You are really going to be trained to showcase what you feel, showcase your ideas, so any person, whether they are into fashion or not, can understand and can see a theme throughout your collection. You're going to understand trend forecasting. You're understand how to do research on a collection. You're going to understand how to use and differentiate various fabrics that can help your collection or help everything make sense with each other. You're going to learn how to do tech packs. You're going to learn how to create clothes on a basic level, right? You're going to learn how to create sometimes sew, and all on a basic level as a fashion designer. And when you actually get to the whatever facility that you're working on, your main role is just to produce unique, creative outfits, designs seasonally. Whether that is, some people a basic ready to wear, a basic fashion house will do 2 seasons. They'll do fall, winter, and they'll do spring, summer. Some do fall, winter, spring, summer, pre-fall. Some people do pre-fall, fall, winter, spring, summer, resorts. And yeah, everyone is differently, but in basis collection usually has like 50 looks, 20 to 50 looks at tops, right? And usually you are working under a designer, a head designer, a senior designer, and they'll give you they'll come up with the idea, right? They'll come up with it. Well, actually, it's the creative director who comes up with the idea. So the creative director comes up with what are we all gonna do? So they come up with a theme. We're going to be making a collection based off of ballet costume design in the 1800s. They bring that down to the senior designer, and the senior designer basically oversees the designers underneath him to make sure they're on track, make sure they're coming up with unique, creative, and on brand ideas. Like, yes, it's like, even though it's 1800 ballet, how would that be interpreted through our brand? How would that look like if it was Balenciaga doing it? How would it look like if it was through Chanel? And that's, I guess, kind of like what you see from the Met Gala. Like, they give them all a theme, and all the designers have to basically design under that theme, but still maintaining their brand identity. And basically, that's going to be your role as a designer if you're working at a house. But if you was working as a designer as owner of your own company, you will be doing the same thing, but you will be taking more of a creative direction route. But you still would be having to contact manufacturers having to basically be up to date and just know the ins and outs and the details of clothes and be able to orchestrate that. Because at the end of the day, a designer is an artist. She or he is an artist, and their medium is just clothes, right? They're an artist at the end of it, at the base, at the root of it, and they just express that, do this, and their role is just basically to express that with, and keep in mind the current timeline that we're in, the trend, how people are feeling, what they're inspired by, their brand. At the end of the day, it's still a business. What will sell? It's various things that I feel like make a designer successful and make a designer a well-rounded person, a well-rounded artist, basically. And yeah, I don't know what else I want to mention about designers. I feel like a lot of people get designers mixed up with stylists because a lot of designers focus more on branding versus then designing. I feel like you can see that with designers such as like Balenciaga and Rick Owens. You see a lot of design focused in their brands. You don't see a lot of Rick Owens plastered all over their clothes, as they allow their clothes to be the indicator of the brand versus then having a logo to be an indicator, because like if you look at somebody else, let's say Coach, right? The only way besides the logo for someone to look it up is maybe there's no other real, yeah, there is, but there's no true indicator if this is a Coach bag if it doesn't have a Coach thing on it for most people, right? And I feel like what designers do is they want their clothes to be able to be the telltale of this brand versus then splashing a logo on it. But I feel like some designers get lazy, and that's why some people feel like the design by itself, the plain t-shirt by itself, is nothing unless there is a stylist that comes in and adds all these other accessories and things to make it be more. And hey, sometimes that is the case depending on what designer that you're working with. And yeah, what else? I think that's basically it. Yeah, I think that's basically the basic of a designer and a designer's role. So now let's get into stylist. So a stylist can be different things, and I've worked as a stylist before in the retail space, helping people develop wardrobes, to styling someone for a specific event. So I've dabbled and dabbled in this sector of fashion. And also, like, if you're a regular person just living your life, like, think about it, you are kind of styling yourself. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, a stylist really can be a lot. A stylist, I feel like, because I feel like a lot of people disrespect stylists. A lot of people look down on stylists. However, I feel like a stylist's place and a designer's place is on two different spectrums. I feel like the stylist place is at the, I feel like a stylist place is like the last finished touches, but it starts with the designer. If there was no designer, it would be nothing to style them with. There would be nothing for them to be wearing. It would be nothing. You use the designer's materials to add some bedazzle or to aid to a person's image or to build an image with the pieces that they have already created, right? So say if you are a stylist and you're working with a rock artist, you would put them in a Balenciaga. But say if you're like, what's the brand? Let's say Miu Miu. I feel like the perfect muse for Miu Miu would have to be Hailey Bieber, and I feel like Sydney Sweeney, to be honest, would be a good muse for them. So if that's the type of aesthetic this person has, you find brands that work with that person's image. That's what basically your job is as a stylist if you're working as a celebrity stylist. How can I use things that have already been created to fit this person's brand image, right? You're using the designs as a tool for branding, if you will, right? That's basically the fundamental. And the background of a stylist, I feel like obviously they don't have to go to college to be a stylist, even though they do have some styling curriculums and things like that. I feel like to be a stylist, you have to be well versed in the fashion industry. You have to be well versed in different aesthetics, different outfits, different styles, different everything. And you need to be well educated on fashion collections, fashion history, and how silhouette and colors can play into a person's image and a person's delivery. Because hot pink may not look good on everyone, so you have to be able to understand, okay, how does this palette look for this person? Correlate that with their height, with their weight, with their bust, with their hips, with their hair. You know, it's like all of these things need to be in check to flawlessly demonstrate a certain theme repeatedly, you know. And sometimes that theme may change. Sometimes you may have to do a photo shoot for GQ, or then turn around and do a photo shoot for but for Paper Magazine, and they all may require different things, and you need to be able to use different tools to create a different idea, right? Say one day you have a robot theme photo shoot. Next day you have a NASCAR photo shoot. The day after that you have a school teacher photo shoot. You need to be able to pull, okay, I know this designer does this type of stuff. I know this thing. If I add this with this, with this, with this, with this, you know, you need to be able to use tools to be able to orchestrate this orchestrate this look. You need to be able to do that consecutively and on point. And yeah, I feel like stylists are important in the fashion industry. They don't get their roses because a lot of celebrities are their meat, their butter is their brand. You know, that brand is the selling thing. You know, that's what people are watching them for. Like, I think about somebody who really has like a brand instantly recognizable. Katy Perry. You can look at this, I know that's Katy Perry. Even Nicki Minaj, Barbie. This person, even Rihanna has a stylist. Rihanna, look at this, I know this is a Rihanna look. Beyonce, I know this is a Beyonce look. That's thanks to their stylist. And that branding is the advertisement. It's what gets the new audience. It's what gets people to want to buy their albums, to buy into them, or to care about them because of the image that was helped created by the stylist. However, I feel like sometimes stylists overstep their role in the fashion industry. Yes, styling is important. Yes, stylist does a lot for people. Yes, stylist can dang near change your whole career. But I feel like at the end, at the base, it is the designer that creates. You just use the materials that have already been created. You don't create anything. You don't develop or do anything. Yes, you use the outfit to make an outfit, but you made an outfit. They created a collection from their own brain, grabbing a piece of paper and a cloth from scratch and creating a brand new style and concept and silhouette of a dress. They didn't just get a dress, no disrespect, but they didn't get a dress and add a belt around it and an earring to now make it this type of theme, or switch some stuff. And yes, that is a skill, because maybe not all a designer, but to be a designer, some aspect of it is still styling too. Keep in mind of that. Yes, they have to build a collection of original, but they still have to think about the hair with that collection, the earrings, the makeup. So even though you are a designer, you still have to implement some styling, you know, into building and developing your collection, as well as the set that you're going to do, as well as the photo shoots that you're going to do, as well as the entertainers that you're going to implement to your brand or use as your muses, you know. So styling and is like also part of the thing, you know. So, and you know, designers are already styling to begin with. They're creating ideas and they're styling on top of that, right? And I feel like stylists, you're styling. That's it. You know, you're not really coming up with an idea out of your brain from thin air, you know. So I feel like everyone has a role that they should play and be respectful and get what they deserve. But I feel like there shouldn't be an overstep of boundary or an overstep, or these people thinking now they're when they are not, you know, because they're not really creating anything, you know. I feel like the creative and the artist should get the last say and the last hoorah or whatever. I mean, my overall opinion is I love stylists. I appreciate stylists. However, I think that some stylists forget their role. I think that some stylists forget their role and get too big-headed and start to think that they are actually designers, or they're actually something that is like this high stature, when in reality, no. Respectfully, reality, no. And to be honest, it low-key be, I'm not even trying to be rude as well, but low-key it be embarrassing. Like when you see certain stylists like saying, I should be, but no. You're not, what are you doing? No. What are you doing though? Besides putting the earring on and doing it. It's some folk who been doing that. So what are you doing? You know, you're not creating anything. You're not developing anything. You're not changing anything. You're not bringing anything new to the table. You just add on an earring to it. Add this lip gloss to it. Add this heel to it. Yeah, thank you. You know, you got her right, but okay. You know, I feel like everyone should just stay in their place, stay in their role, so the machine can go as it need to go. Designers are the beginner, right? We have the we have designer. Then you have the fashion illustrator, the seamstress, the tailorers, the photographers. You have the journalists, the fashion journalists, the trend forecasters. You have the creative directors. Then you have the stylists. No disrespect, but then you have the stylists and the makeup artists at the end to just aid to what the designer has already did from the beginning. They are the start of it. And I feel like everyone should kind of respect the designer's role in the fashion industry, to be honest, and not overstep or not. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they think that, but yeah. Overall, I love stylists. I think styling is an amazing career choice, but I think styling has its ups and downs and is doomed to be the target of any backlash when it comes to who is more influential or who is more impactful. You know, no one is going to say, oh, this stylist, yeah, they really, no, it's going to be this designer, this artist, you know, not, no. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed my take on designer versus stylist. And